Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about Scorpio and love. And yes, it does apply and pertain to the sun, moon, and ascendant. Well, anyway, people, first thing I'll look at for Scorpio, Scorpio and love and their love relationships, I should say, they generally don't want anything that's superficial, nothing frivolous. They want things to be really deep and intense. Scorpio is a powerful sign, and their love relationships can be powerful. They seem to attract relationships that often have a lot of upheavals in them. It seems like Scorpio seems to be that crisis-ridden sign, and it seems like for whatever reason, a lot of their relationships can be connected with this and have a lot of upheavals in them. The thing about Scorpio is that, okay, they want something where there's a strong and deep commitment. Now, there might be some other types of Scorpios that you might say could be a little more promiscuous, the ones that maybe that you might have the more underdeveloped ones, so to speak, or just the ones that maybe have their flings, have their superficial flings, perhaps before they decide to settle down and be committed. Keep in mind that Scorpio, I believe, is unequivocally the most sexual sign of the zodiac, and you might have some Scorpios here and there that will that they're in certain relationships more for sex than anything. But I think the majority, though, majority are about the deep connections. And the thing about Scorpio is that in a love relationship, you're generally not going to get much past them. If you're somebody that's playing games, you're someone that just you're in it, say, for sex, and it's not the real deal. They'll spot it in a heartbeat. Scorpio can detect duplicity. They understand about subterfuge if someone's trying to pull something over on them. In a love relationship, they're going to figure it out. You're not going to outmaneuver or outmanipulate a Scorpio, generally speaking. They have tremendous investigation prowess, and they generally will get to the bottom of a mystery very quickly. If you're really pretending to be someone you're not, for example, you're saying you have all this money and you're just trying to get Scorpio to really to fall into your arms because of this, and they'll figure it out at some point, and generally a lot quicker than the other signs will. And the thing about Scorpio too, if Scorpio is scorned, I mean, Scorpio could be very vengeful and vindictive. They might not always act upon this, but they will take a long time to forgive somebody in a love relationship. And the thing about it is Scorpio can have a hard time in letting things go, because what happens is they give so much into a relationship, and they find that if at some point the person decides to leave him or her after being with them for a certain amount of time, they could really take it very strongly and really take it to heart, more so than perhaps any of the other zodiac sign. Because when a Scorpio commits, I mean, it is exceptionally deep, to say the least. Now, if a Scorpio decides to be interested in you, I think there's one key thing to look at. And the thing about it is, keep in mind, Scorpio is very mysterious and secretive. But if a Scorpio starts unveiling their secrets to you, and you say you were in a relation, you were in a platonic friendship with a Scorpio, and say you felt like, okay, you liked him or her, and you thought maybe this person may like you, but you were a little ambivalent, you were a little bit maybe really not quite sure of it. But if this person starts to reveal and disclose some secrets to you and telling you private information, that could be a sign right there that the relationship might be ready to escalate or ascend to the next level. And Scorpio also, if they start talking to you and asking you to unveil things about yourself, then that could be another thing as well. That could be an indicator that Scorpio may start liking you more than just as a friend. So they're trying to become, that could be their way of trying to become closer to you. And Scorpio also can be very subtle as well. Sometimes, like, a Scorpio may show interest in you, saying, like, it was interesting one time somebody had walked up to me, and I'm not saying she was had Scorpio prominent in her chart, if it was a sun, moon, or ascendant. It wouldn't surprise me though, because she asked me something like, "Did you hear the song 'What Are You Doing' for New Year's or something?" And it just be something like that. As Scorpios will find a way to put something in a subtle manner to you. If it was somebody that you liked a little more than a friend, but you were only platonic, you were only in a platonic relationship with them, that could be another indicator that he or she may like you. And Scorpios, they could often be very skeptical and might take their time in a relationship. They're usually they can be very guarded and very secretive, and they don't really want too many people, letting too many people into their lives. Scorpio can be very introspective and very introverted, and they really like their solitude and seclusion. And the thing is, for these reasons, they generally will not be compatible, say, with, say, a Leo or an Aries, or a sign that's a lot more outgoing and gregarious than they are, because they are ones that like to really be more at home and more to themselves, more so than most of the other signs. It is a feminine sign. And Scorpio can be very complex as well. So if you're in a love relationship with a Scorpio, they might be very hard to figure out. And it's kind of like, I think, like, Scorpio is ruled by Mars, but also by Pluto as well. And you look at the Pluto rulership, I think, has a strong connection with their demeanor. You look at their recently, I've done some research on the internet, and it seems like it's likely that there are some waters beneath Pluto's icy surface. And a lot of times Scorpio projects this calm demeanor. They appear very placid to others, and really they don't really like to release any emotions to others. But beneath that calm exterior, Scorpio can very well have those turbulent, raging waters of emotion. And just because Scorpio, you say something to them and they might not respond and keep a straight face, you could rest assured, you say some derogatory, it will bother them a lot. They're a lot more sensitive than they're willing to show on first meeting. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for Scorpio and love. And stay tuned next time, where I'll be talking about Sagittarius and love. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel, but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.